Part 37. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 361. Everyone was shocked. Qin Feng took action and seriously injured Huang Peng, who was moving the mountain to the 9th level. Huang Peng, who ranked at the top among the true disciples of the Suzaku Holy Land, showed no resistance to Qin Feng, which shocked everyone. Although Qin Feng's sudden attack may have caught Huang Peng a little off guard, it was really outrageous that Huang Peng was injured like this. At this moment, the atmosphere in the field was tense. Zhu Mu and Qin Feng each obtained 2 of the only 4 Suzaku Divine Bloods. Boom! Zhu Quan's eyes were cold, he took action boldly, and the dazzling light swept towards Qin Feng. Qin Feng severely injured Huang Peng in front of him. This was a slap in the face. If he didn't react, it would definitely chill the people who followed him. Facing Zhu Quan's heavy punch, Qin Feng was not afraid. He instantly stood in the 9 Forbidden Realm and returned the blow. The 2 people's palms collided with each other, spreading out mysterious fluctuations. A true cyclonic wind blew here, and the energy vortex distorted the void, making it breathtaking. Qin Feng stood still and blocked Zhu Quan's attack. Likewise, Zhu Quan was still unharmed with only the fluttering of his battle clothes. Qin Feng does have something to do with. After seeing Qin Feng's methods, he gave up temporarily. The opponent was indeed powerful against him, and the means to compete with him could not be defeated in a short time. At this time, the top priority is to open the ancient coffin and obtain the mysterious inheritance inside. Zhu Mu looked coldly at Bawang. He also had 2 pieces of Suzaku Divine Blood in his hand, but no one dared to snatch them away. Zhu Mu's strength and methods amazed everyone, and no one wanted to make him unhappy. After all, there is a mysterious ancient coffin ahead. It is still unknown what inheritance it contains, but the streaks of auspicious colors shot out of it are very mysterious and exciting. The quasi-holy sons of the Suzaku Holy Land gathered together, all on guard against each other, wanting to snatch the secret treasure in the ancient coffin. "I'll deal with you later." Zhu Mu snorted coldly, he puffed up his sleeves, and a strong wind spread out, immediately blowing open the ancient coffin in front of him. As the ancient coffin was opened, energy light waves like landslides and tsunamis spread out, and then a bamboo slip hung in the air, blooming with endless light. In King Zhu's palace, Zhu Quan and other would-be saints' eyes were bright, and they wanted to snatch the bamboo slips in the coffin. This bamboo slip is probably the inheritance of King Zhu, so everyone wants to fight for it and grab it. As the coffin was opened, Qin Feng did not rush forward, but he felt a great sense of crisis in his heart. At this time, the coffin was opened, energy waves like landslides and tsunamis spread out, red blood and blood were rolling, mysterious and endless. Moreover, there are more than 50 defenders in the corner. 6 of them have been revived at this moment, and it is impossible that the others have not moved yet. Sure enough, just as Qin Feng imagined, when the coffin was opened, many of the quasi-holy sons did not take action, but concentrated on staring at the more than 50 guardians not far away. At this moment, one after another auspicious colors bloomed in the coffin, making people feel extremely comfortable. The low-level monks were instantly attracted to the soul, so they might as well walk forward independently. Immediately afterwards, a beam of light flew out of the coffin. Like a small dragon, it split into countless light spots in the void and penetrated the void. The next moment, the more than 50 guardians in the corner all woke up, and endless light surged from their bodies. As the guardians of Zhuwang Palace, all the guardians on the surface have revived. On them, streaks of bloody brilliance bloomed, and boundless murderous aura flowed out. "Wake up!" The quasi-holy son shouted loudly, his voice sounding like thunder. In an instant, the monks who had been walking forward involuntarily came to their senses. They were all frightened and broke into a cold sweat. If they hadn't woken up at the last moment, they would have all been killed by the resurrected guardians. Not only them, but Wang Shui and Zhou Qing behind Qin Feng were also thinking about it, and they felt like they would survive the disaster. If Qin Feng's powerful God King aura hadn't enveloped them, they would have rushed in immediately towards the front. At this moment, the feeling of surviving the disaster came to them, and the two of them were glad that Qin Feng stood in front and blocked the light of temptation for them. What exactly is in the ancient coffin that is so mysterious? The red light inside can actually amplify people's desires. It's really scary. Zhu Yixin, Zhu Xiaoman and others turned pale with horror, their eyes glowed with golden light, and they were all ready. Kill. More than 50 guardians rose into the sky, endless light surging around them, and the glow surged towards Qin Feng and Zhu Quan. At this moment, the entire Zhuang Palace was trembling. The endless Genkai connected together and turned into a huge battlefield, with the blazing light of Suzaku flowing everywhere. A big melee took place here. Some of the most amazing quasi-holy figures in the Suzaku Holy Land took action here, and the atmosphere was extremely terrifying. Crack. Zhu Quan took action. He struck a palm instantly, and a golden Suzaku divine form appeared in front of him, causing the entire Zhuang Palace to spread pressure. The void became distorted, and the terrifying power hit the crowd. Huge waves flowed out. Qingying looked at Lang Gu, and all the quasi-holy sons present refused to deal with him, especially Zhu Quan and Zhu Mu, who looked at him covetously. If the other two suddenly attack during the fight against the defenders, they may pose a threat to the people behind them. Peacock little monster, you two don't need to take action, just protect Wang Shui and Zhou Qing. Qin Feng gave an order, and he turned into the Dharma image of heaven and earth, and the vision of the God King burst into a golden light, and then he stretched out his palm to press. The middle grade God King seal of the immortal grade slapped forward, and turned into the ancient God mountain in the void to suppress it, and a shocking melee broke out. Boom! The God King seal blessed by the 9 prohibitions was indestructible, and instantly turned the 4 guards into blood mist, which turned into light rain and dissipated. 4 Suzaku God blood and a diamond scratch card appeared in the air, bursting with endless life energy. Swish! Qin Feng moved his mind, and the light flowing in his palm instantly captured the Suzaku God blood and the card, and he grabbed them in his hand. At this time, there was no time to scratch it open, so he directly put it into the space. He made another move, and a guard attacked him, and the sound of shouting and killing shook the sky. Puff! Ah! Kill! The shouts and cries of killing rose and fell. The battle was extremely brutal. There were countless corpses in the Zhuang Palace of the underground palace. These guards were very strong. The monks brought by the quasi-saints were torn in half by mistake. Blood filled the air and murderous intent rose. This undoubtedly aroused the anger of the quasi-saints. They attacked with force and the brilliant light submerged the Zhuang Palace. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 362. The Zhuang Palace trembled, shouts of killing saints came and went, and countless beads of Suzaku God blood dripped and rolled, spreading out endless life energy. Boom! In the melee, a quasi-holy sun shone with light, grabbed Qin Feng and killed the defender. The Suzaku divine blood that fell out wanted to take it in his hands. Qin Feng's eyes were slightly cold, and he instantly struck back with a blow. An electric arc spread out between the two of them. The quasi-holy sun's body trembled slightly, and he shook his hand without leaving a trace, and turned around to join another battle group. Crack! Qin Feng took action again and lost 2 guards, dropping 2 pieces of Suzaku divine blood. I don't know why, but Qin Feng killed the guards and the Suzaku divine blood dropped out. The quality was also extremely high, far exceeding the quantity and quality of ordinary people. Everyone around him did not expect Qin Feng to be so powerful. He killed nearly 10 guards in an instant. The Suzaku divine blood was suspended beside him, and the void was glowing. Several powerful monks present had hunting eyes, as if Qin Feng was trying to fight for his Suzaku divine blood. "Dare you!" Qin Feng shouted loudly, and the vision of the God King surrounded his body. His whole body burst into golden light, and he tried his best to stop the attacks of those people. In a moment of killing collision, weapons and magic weapons were directly knocked away by Qin Feng with his bare hands. He stood in the 9 forbidden domain and blocked all indiscriminate attacks. Kunpeng Fist. At the same time, Qin Feng took action again. It was not his style to be beaten passively. He wanted to take the initiative. The Taiyan and sun bloomed in his palm, a huge buzzing sound came from the void, black and golden light rushed in all directions, and murderous intent filled the air. There was chaos in the field instantly, and the quasi-sage and true disciples had to take action to intercept Qin Feng's indiscriminate attack. At this time, Zhu Yishan, Zhu Xiaoman and others also took action to kill the guards. Those guards all had the strength to move mountains and the 9th level of the sky. Their killing styles were connected together and were unshakable. Here in the Cave of Light, the murderous wave makes the place shake, the light is dazzling, and crises are everywhere. Exit first. At this time, Qin Feng privately conveyed a message to Zhu Yishan and others. The Zhuang Palace was already in chaos. The rays of the quasi-holy sun, the guardian's true disciple, were all intertwined, and a big melee broke out. Fang Han and Zhu Yishan, if they stay any longer, there will probably be a great crisis. When Zhu Yishan and others heard this, they all nodded. In this Zhuang Palace, it is indeed not a place where they can stay. In such a short span of a few breaths, countless monks were lying dead here. Even Huang Peng, who was injured by Qin Feng just now, was also torn into powder by someone in the melee. At this moment, the faces of countless true disciples were ugly, and some of the true female disciples were even more beautiful. They themselves were strong enough, otherwise they would not have been able to stand out among the countless true disciples. However, in the face of the melee between the quasi-holy sun and the defenders of the Zhuang Palace, even they were powerless and could not help much. Instead, they would be a hindrance. After all, the guardians here are too strong, and they all have the strength to move mountains and the 9th level of the sky. No one knows how many dangers are waiting for them in Zhuang Palace. Following Qin Feng's order, Zhu Yishan, Zhu Xiaoman and others, escorted by dragons, horses, and peacocks, rushed out of the underground palace. In an instant, their figures were stared at. The quasi-holy Sun Zhu Mu, with his whole body shining brightly, suddenly turned into an afterimage, fell from the sky, and slapped Zhu Yishan and others with his palm. Zhu Yishan, Fang Han and others are all followers of Qin Feng. Qin Feng has provoked him many times. He does not want these people to leave here alive at all. Roll. Qin Feng saw Zhu Mu's movements completely, he shouted loudly, and the Kunpeng Fist, which was blessed by the 9 forbidden rules, was thrown out. Boom! There was a huge roar in King Zhu's palace, and then the entire underground palace trembled. The divine power between the two men surged, making countless monks' faces turn pale and their bodies tremble. The power overflowing from the two of them was so powerful. It was as if the power of heaven and earth were roaring here, and countless monks were horrified by it. The shouts of killing in Zhuangdian were loud, and the melee was extremely fierce. Nearly a dozen people had already laid their bodies here and turned into corpses. The remaining guardians all have the strength to move mountains and reach the 9th level. Some even have 1 foot in the realm of divine illumination. Their power is so terrifying that some monks here have become miserable. Although Qin Feng blocked Zhu Mu's attack, 2 of the dozen people he brought with him still died here, and the others finally escaped from the Zhuang Palace of the underground palace smoothly. Outside the underground palace, Zhu Yishan, Fang Han, Fang Ling, Zhu Xiaoman and others were left with chills in their spines. Roar! The dragon and horse roared, and the dragon's magical power spread out, suppressing some of the defenders who came to kill them. Then, the peacock spread its wings, enveloped everyone, and flew into the sky. Wang Shui and Zhou Qing riding dragon horses, made a lightning stroke with the crane and rose into the sky, overlooking the Zhuang Palace of the underground palace below. The Zhuang Palace overflowed with energy light waves like landslides and tsunamis. Countless energies even rushed out of the portal, shaking the mountains and shaking the ground, making everyone feel terrified. Soon after, some true disciples and female monks also ran out of the Zhuang Palace and came to the void, looking down at the underground palace below and looking inside. At this time, in the Zhuang Palace, Qin Feng and Zhu Mukankan took action, and an energy vacuum appeared between them. Their overflowing might was too terrifying. Every time they bombarded, it was like thunder, with light everywhere. Even the guards around did not dare to approach. The light here was shining, and the murderous aura was soaring. Soon, all the guards fell here. There were even 2 unlucky quasi-saints, one of whom was accidentally besieged by the guards and died here, which was a bit amazing. Buzz. Suddenly, the underground palace trembled, and a portal appeared again under the Zhuang Palace. Hundreds of guards came out of the portal one after another. These people all had the strength of the 9th level of moving mountains, and their power was terrifying. Facing hundreds of guards, even the remaining quasi-saints were all masters among 10,000. At this time, their faces became very ugly. Although their strength was strong enough, there were too many hundreds of guards. They were afraid that they could not escape from them completely. Fight! A quasi-saint roared, and then, in front of everyone, he refined a piece of Suzaku divine blood. As the light shone, a huge vermilion bird appeared behind him, and then a dazzling flame emanated from his body. Crack! The shackles of the realm of this quasi-saint son were broken, and he was directly promoted to a cultivator in the realm of divine illumination. The powerful aura radiated the whole place, and the pressure flowed here, like a tide, radiating in all directions. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 363. At this time, the quasi-saints of the Suzaku Holy Land had already thought of retreating, but at this moment they saw hope. Each of them was a rare genius. One of them forced his way through the barrier and stood in the divine field in an instant, overlooking the whole scene, which surprised everyone and made them feel that they saw hope and no longer needed to retreat. For a moment, the light flashed here, and the quasi-saint was encouraged. Red clouds surged all over his body, absorbing the Suzaku divine pattern and Suzaku divine blood. Endless light boiled up and submerged the underground palace. At this time, Zhu Yishan and others in the outside world all saw that the endless spiritual energy of heaven and earth above the Zhuang Palace gathered towards the palace, flowing out endless mist. The spiritual energy gathered into a river and rushed towards the Zhuang Palace, shocking everyone. Qin Feng, who was fighting with Zhu Mu, was also extremely shocked. It must be said that these people could become quasi-saints, not by trickery, but because they all had extraordinary qualities. They all have extraordinary qualifications and terrifying divine bodies. They have refined the vermilion bird divine mark and vermilion bird divine blood. Some cultivators have disheveled hair and a terrifying aura. 3 people broke through the mirror in succession and became powerful cultivators of the first level of the divine illumination, overlooking the entire scene, which gave them more confidence. But good luck did not always accompany these quasi-saints. 2 of them were disturbed when they advanced. Although they successfully broke through the mirror, their bodies were covered with cracks. In the end, they could not withstand the surging true energy and the whole person broke into pieces and exploded into blood mist. Even if there was a death talisman to protect them, it was still useless, because they directly exploded their souls into pieces, and the death talisman could not rebuild their bodies. The quasi-saints died in the underground palace. If this were to be spread out, it would definitely shock the top leaders of the Vermilion Bird Holy Land. These people would be pillars in the future. What a pity. The remaining people saw the fate of these two people and did not dare to rush in rashly. After all, their lives were their own. As long as they were given some time, they could still become cultivators in the realm of divine illumination. There was no need to explode into corpses here. However, facing so many guards, it would be very dangerous if they did not become cultivators in the realm of divine illumination. The light here was shining and fierce. It took almost half an hour for the Zhuang Palace to become much quieter. Here, the shouting and killing sounded much calmer. Several quasi-holy sons staggered and were seriously injured. There were even several people who suffered fatal injuries and almost died on the spot. Many people had disheveled hair and pale faces. There were terrible cracks on their bodies and they were almost split apart. Here, countless guards turned into light rain, and the blood of the vermilion bird was spinning and flowing with all kinds of rosy clouds. Everyone was concentrating, and the bamboo slips above the ancient coffin flowed with a vast momentum, but no one dared to move rashly for the time being. The people here were all very afraid. The guardians did not come forward again, but surrounded the coffin. The field was temporarily in a balance, and no one knew when it would be interrupted. Qinfeng and Zhumu were still making brilliant moves. The sword energy between them rushed into the sky, making the entire Zhuang Palace dim, and the sword energy made the void distort. Swish! Zhumu swung the Tianq sword, a weapon of the lower grade of immortals, and the light rushed up. The Zhuang Palace was trembling, and endless light surged, slashing with Qinfeng. Qinfeng was fearless. He also hit the true fire at this time, holding the Juexian sword and stepping on the immortal steps, moving forward and backward. He performed the Suzaku 10 strikes to perfection. His speed was as fast as lightning. He fought against Zhumu in the field. Every collision flowed with strands of electric light, and a big bombing broke out here. Buzz! Suddenly, Zhumu made a move, and his palm pierced through the void in an instant and grabbed the bamboo slips. At this moment, the other quasi-saints could no longer hold back. They decisively moved forward to stop Zhumu from getting the bamboo slips. 1,000 fingers of true fire! Zhumu shouted, and his whole body burst into flames, causing chaos in Zhuang Hall. Everyone rushed to grab the bamboo slips in the void. Zhumu used a large-scale attack, and countless divine fires pierced through the void. Thousands of beams flew in all directions, breaking the balance here. So, the guards and quasi-saints had to attack again. They were surrounded by brilliant light and murderous aura. There was a great chaos here. As the Tianjiao quasi-saints of the Suzaku Holy Land, they had raised their strength to the extreme in the field of moving mountains. Endless waves rushed up to the sky and surged. Lightning raged in Zhuang Hall, and the vortex of true energy swept here. Countless guards collapsed into light rain in an instant, and everyone fought at full strength. Everyone here broke their heads, and the sound of a landslide and tsunami shook Zhuang Hall. This scene was exactly what Zhumu wanted. Otherwise, his fight with Qinfeng would give the surrounding quasi-saints an opportunity to take advantage of him. After everyone started to move, no one would be able to hold the bamboo scroll. After he and Qinfeng had decided the winner, he could participate in the fight and seize the fortune above the ancient coffin. Zhumu held the sky bird knife and looked down on the void. The void trembled as he chopped and killed. One after another, the vermilion birds appeared in the air, making the void exude a breathtaking breath and a bright fairy cloud. Swish! The sky bird knife cut across the void. In an instant, a huge light slash cut a huge golden pillar in front of it in half, and the divine light rushed up amazingly. This sky bird knife was extremely precious. It was a weapon of the lower grade of the immortal product. It was really terrifying. The sharp blade pointed forward, and the wings of the vermilion bird were like a sky knife across the sky, which could almost destroy everything. Qin Feng shook the sky bird saber with his immortal sword, and the immortal sword danced into a curtain of swords in the void. The suppressed palace shook violently, and the two of them kept colliding in the void. The underground palace shook, and a wall suddenly collapsed, spreading into a terrifying ditch, which was destroyed by the overflowing energy of the two people. If it weren't for the protective formation here, it would have been turned into ruins by everyone's attacks. Boom! Zhu Mu raised his hand and pointed in the direction, and the 5 beams of light painted 1,000 fingers of divine fire, filling the void with terrifying ditches, piercing through Qin Feng's limbs and bones. Bang! Qin Feng God King's vision protects his body. He has controlled his left hand, struck the God King seal, and suppressed it forward. Under the blessing of the 9 forbidden gods, the God King seal superimposed 81 times its power and turned into a blue mountain, shattering the 5 fingers of light into the void and turning them into flowing vitality. Brush. Zhu Mu took action again. This time, the 5 fingers of his left hand crossed the sky and joined together in mid-air, turning into a lightsaber that reached the sky and moved the earth. It bloomed with golden brilliance and penetrated Qin Feng. The lightsaber became the only one in the Zhuang Palace, blooming with thousands of golden light. If it broke through the endless obstruction of the Tianlong, its power was astonishing. The void was shaking like a scroll, and it was penetrated in an instant. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 364. Town. Qin Feng looked at the 1,000-finger divine fire in the sky. A golden beam of light emitted from his eyes, and he struck forward with the Divine King seal again. With the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, the Divine King seal transformed into an ancient sacred mountain that became stronger and stronger, sending out vast waves. Clang! The absolute immortal sword collided with the Tian Dao, the needle pointed against the on, and ripples appeared in the air. Under the attack of the two, the space was shattered inch by inch, which made people feel heart-stopping. Zhu Mu was quite surprised. His 1,000-finger divine fire was a supreme secret technique learned in the Sutra Pavilion of Suzaku Holy Land. It was enough to destroy the starry sky and make it difficult for gods and demons to stop it. However, at this time, Qin Feng's fingerprints could not perform any merit, which shocked him. He did not believe that Qin Feng had the strength to compete with him. The Skybird sword used the Suzaku sword technique, and the divine light rushed across the sky, which could cut the sky. Qin Feng was still unafraid. He used the immortal sword to strike out with sword light that touched the sky and moved the earth, and hit the Tian sword. Suzaku's 10 strikes suddenly surged into the sky with evil energy, and collided with the opponent's Tian sword. The loud noise shook the palace, like 10,000 swords in unison, showing their sharpness. Qin Feng and Zhu Mu collided. The two stood on both sides, their eyes extremely compelling, and the whole palace rumbled, making people's hearts beat. They all had peerless looks, their bodies made the void tremble, and their divine power collided. The diffused energy light rushed in all directions like a tide, flying sand and rocks. In the palace, countless furnishings flew up, creating chaos. Brush. At this moment, a silver humanoid creature appeared in front of the ancient coffin, and its sharp soul glanced at it, making Qin Feng, who was standing in the void, feel that it was very dangerous. He discovered that the humanoid silver guardian who appeared at this time was as powerful as the divine light. Energy light like a landslide and tsunami flowed in its body, and its astonishing momentum shook the sky and the earth, covering the entire Zhuang Palace. Buzz. The bamboo slips were suspended in the sky above the silver creatures, and a sharp aura flowed out, giving everyone here a strong sense of crisis. This was the first time Qin Feng felt such a strong danger after he stood up and moved to the 8th level. This silver guardian was covered with scales, and his powerful aura was thick and thick, giving birth to his own will. Human, Why are you disturbing the Zhuang Palace? The Silver Guardian's powerful consciousness swept over, instantly shocking all the disciples around him. This will was like a volcano erupting, and few people in the mountain-moving realm could compete with it. Senior, we are disciples of the Suzaku Holy Land. We are here to practice and want to obtain the inheritance in the underground palace. The quasi-holy Sun Zuquan bowed his hand. Facing this humanoid leader, he remained neither humble nor arrogant. Although he was only in the 9th level of Moving Mountain, he was not afraid of the silver guards of the 2nd level of Shenzhou. People of the Suzaku Holy Land, so you are the inheritors that the master is waiting for. Very good. If you want to get the inheritance from the master, you must have sufficient qualifications. The calm voice of the Silver Guardian sounded, and his bell bloomed with bright silver light, releasing his cold will and solidifying Zuquan in front of him. So the ancient coffin is really the inheritance of ancestor King Zhu. Zuquan's eyes lit up. He cared about that bamboo slip very much. If he got it, it would definitely increase his strength. In the battle between the Holy Sons, he could stand out and become the Holy Son who would dominate the future of the Holy Land. Exactly, if you want to get the Master's inheritance, you must defeat me. From the Silver Guardian, a faint spiritual thought came, and the bamboo scroll was suspended above his head, with wisps of aura hanging down, creating a very powerful momentum. For a moment, the Zhuang Palace became foggy, and a whirlwind of energy blew around him, which was very terrifying. As the inheritance of the ancestor Zhuang who created the little secret realm, no one wants to get it. Whoever defeats you can get the inheritance. At this time, Qin Feng suddenly spoke. He looked at the silver guard in front of him and looked at the bamboo slip with his fiery eyes, wanting to see what kind of secret method was recorded in the bamboo slip. Of course, if you have the strength. The Silver Guardian glanced at Qin Feng and turned his eyes aside. He felt the strong will from Zuquan, and felt the strength of the 8th heaven in Qin Feng. To be honest, I don't think Qin Feng is qualified to fight him. Boy, do you know what first come, first served means? Zuquan looked at Qin Feng contemptuously. With Qin Feng's Yudongjing strength, facing the Silver Guardian would definitely be a dead end. The Silver Guardian has the strength of Shen Zhao Yangtian. If Zuquan faced him, he couldn't be sure that he would win, let alone Zuquan. Not only Zuquan thought so, but the Silver Guardian and all the quasi-holy sons around him also thought so. Although Qin Feng's performance is indeed outstanding, after all, he only has the strength to move the 8th level of heaven. Challenging the Silver Guardian in the realm of Shenzhou will definitely lead to death. Even if Qin Feng is transcendent and can kill enemies across great realms, it is impossible to leap across 2 great realms. Since you want to die, I'll let you die. Qin Feng spread his hands indifferently. He felt that Zuquan was definitely no match for the Silver Guard. Humph, you know what's going on. Zuquan snorted coldly, rose into the air, and came to the Silver Guardian. At this time, the surrounding quasi-holy sons, including Zumuo and others, all looked at the battle between the Silver Guardian and Zuquan, wanting to see the details of their battle. However, no one paid attention to Qin Feng at this time. He felt that he had nothing to do anyway, so he should improve his realm. Qin Feng waved his hand and produced the Vermilion Bird Divine Blood and Vermilion Bird Divine Marks, and began to refine them in the shocked eyes of everyone. This time in the Zhuang Palace of the Vermilion Bird Secret Realm, he obtained the most Vermilion Bird Divine Marks and Vermilion Bird Divine Blood, which were enough to allow him to advance to the realm of moving mountains. Oh my god, is this kid Qin Feng stupid? Not long ago, the fate of the 2 senior brothers who advanced in the Zhuang Palace is still vivid in my mind. He actually dared to directly refine the divine blood to improve his realm. He really doesn't know how to live or die. Several people around saw Qin Feng's actions, and they all talked very disdainfully. Qin Feng's move was tantamount to seeking his own death. Qin Fen naturally heard the conversation between those people, but he didn't care. He was completely different from these people. He had the blood of Pangu, which was enough to refine the vermilion bird divine marks and divine blood without any side effects. On this side, Zhu Quan had already taken the lead in attacking the Silver Guardian, and a strange phenomenon appeared behind him. Swish! Zhu Quan made a move. A golden sword appeared in his hand. It was instantly surrounded by fire and cut through the void, spreading a powerful sword light. Qin Feng only took a quick glance at this. Not long ago, he and Zhu Quan had fought against each other. He felt that Zhu Quan was probably not a match for the Silver Guard. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 365. Zhuang Palace, like a mustard seed, is far bigger and boundless than what you see from the outside. At this time, golden flames burst out from Zhu Quan's body, and a violent momentum rose into the sky, drowning towards the defenders. He is now in a strange state, and the Suzaku divine fire on his body is igniting with bright light, which greatly increases his strength. It allows him to stand in a powerful field and bloom with terrifying sword lights. The Suzaku sword skills are pretty good. The Silver Guardian said calmly. He could tell at a glance that the sword technique used by Zhu Quan was the true secret technique of the Suzaku Holy Land. The Suzaku sword technique was a quasi-immortal martial art. Chi. As soon as the Silver Guardian moved, a powerful sword intention spread out from his body. In an instant, he used his palm to shoot out the sword light, which collided with Zhu Quan, and endless waves of light emitted from the field. The Silver Guardian's sword intent bloomed, completely shocking the dozens of quasi-holy suns around him for a moment. Because, the sword technique used by the Silver Guardian is also the Suzaku sword technique. Moreover, the opponent did not use a sword, but the sword energy was so powerful that it completely crushed Zhu Quan's Suzaku sword technique, and his strength was even more terrifying. In other words, the Silver Guardian in front of him is proficient in some of the secret techniques of the Suzaku Holy Land, and has reached the state of transformation. He is even more proficient and more terrifying than those of the quasi-holy sons who can use them. What's the situation? The Guardian can actually use the vermilion bird intent. It seems like he didn't learn it instantly, but he already knew how to use the Suzaku sword. Some of the quasi-holy sons who were watching were extremely shocked. In this case, this Silver Guardian might know the weaknesses of many of them. When Zhu Quan saw this scene, his eyes were slightly cold. He felt that this scene was very disadvantageous to him. This Silver Guardian is like a senior expert in the Suzaku Holy Land. He is proficient in the secret techniques of the Holy Land. The same moves are twice as powerful. However, as the quasi-holy son of the Suzaku Holy Land, Zhu Quan still had some means. He was not too panicked. In an instant, he took action again. The intention of the Suzaku sword was earth-shattering, and the bright light of the sword continued to overflow, making the void tremble. Clang! Another sound of gold and iron clashing came, and the silhouettes of the Silver Guardian and Zhu Quan collided in the void, separated in an instant, and stood at both ends. At this moment, Zhu Quan's face finally showed a solemn look. This Silver Guardian of the second level of the gods also has the qualifications of a holy son. The opponent is 3 realms higher than him in strength, enough to crush him. If he can't win by surprise, I am afraid that I will fail here. Senior brother Zhu Quan seems to be no match for the defenders. This Guardian's sword power is astonishing, and his aptitude far exceeds that of ordinary people. He may be chasing Zhou Qishan. There was a lot of discussion among the crowd. They were all waiting to watch, not wanting to miss any details. Because they felt that Zhu Quan would never win, and there was only one realm between them and the guardians of Shenzhou Yangtian. If they could pay more attention to the details, they might have a chance to defeat the guardians. Cut. Zhu Quan naturally did not believe that he would lose. He reversed his blade and the Suzaku divine form behind him, with flowing fire, rushed forward to destroy all obstacles. Chi. The void was broken, and the wings of the Suzaku divine form vibrated and fluttered. The speed was unimaginable. In an instant, it appeared in front of the Silver Guardian. Its power was a few points higher than before. A thunder flashed here, making this area shaken. However, in the face of such a powerful blow, the Silver Guardian remained calm and calm. He stepped a little in the void, and finally attacked with the same move. This move was also incredibly fast. The Silver Guardian's sword energy struck first and collided with Zhu Quan's sword light. Ripples spread out in the void, and strong winds sprang up in the field. Gudong. The people around him were all stunned, and Zhu Quan was even more stunned. This Silver Guardian seemed to be specifically angry with him and used the same moves as him. However, the moves performed by the opponent are more refined and crisper, and the strength spread out is also stronger, always slightly stronger than him. No way, I'm invincible. Zhu Quan was still unwilling to accept it. With a roar, his sword moved the heaven and the earth, and once again confronted the Silver Guardian head-on. In the void, the Suzaku divine fire swirled out, empowering Zhu Quan's sword intent, doubling his strength again. However, facing such a powerful blow, the Silver Guard remained unafraid and launched the same attack again, but faster than Zhu Quan. Puff. A bright beam of light flashed, and Zhu Quan was split into mid-air by the Silver Guardian, turning into a corpse. The next moment, Zhu Quan's figure came back to life, and he had to use his death talisman to escape the disaster. How is that possible? Zhu Quan's eyes widened, his eyes were red, and he couldn't believe it. The same move was used by the other party, but it turned out to be stronger than his own. This was simply terrifying. I have been practicing the same moves longer than you, so the power I exert and the real power I use are not more than you, but actually stronger than you. The Silver Guard stood in mid-air, with silver light blooming from his body. He calmly stared at Zhu Quan in front of him, his whole body blazing with power. He is ruthless and will not let the other person go just because he is a descendant of the Suzaku Holy Land. After all, many people died on the road of cultivation. Opportunities and luck coexist, and he had no mercy at all. Young man, you are defeated. Retreat quickly, otherwise you will be killed without mercy. At this time, the Silver Guard's face showed anger, because he saw that Zhu Quan's body actually exuded a strong aura again. The other party was not giving up and wanted to take action. This moment made the Silver Guard very dissatisfied. As a cultivator, it is right to have an unyielding heart, but if you can't see your actual level clearly and do it knowing that it is impossible, it is stupid. Such a person will not go too far on the road of cultivation. However, Zhu Quan was angry at this time, and he couldn't listen to any suggestions. A terrifying light wave lingered on his body. In an instant, the golden energy on his body was filled with black spots, and instantly reached a terrifying scene. Demon Sparrow Blade Intent. Zhu Quan shouted angrily. He had absolute confidence in his Demon Sparrow Blade Intent. This was the strongest method he realized from the Vermilion Bird Sword technique this year. As the black and golden sword energy surged out, all the disciples present were horrified. Zhu Quan's Zhou Shen exerted his mighty power and actually cultivated the demonic bird sword intent. I didn't expect that senior brother Zhu Quan really cultivated the demonic bird sword intent. This demonic bird sword intent has the Vermilion bird sword intent and the Taiyan sword intent. When combined, the power is superimposed. I'm afraid few people can resist it. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 366. Humph. You are not overestimating your own abilities. The Silver Guardian snorted coldly, and his mood instantly deteriorated. The other party actually blindly changed the secret method inherited from the Suzaku Holy Land, which made him very unhappy. Then, light flashed in his palm, and a long sword made of light appeared in his hand, slashing forward in an instant. Chi! The Suzaku saber intention collided with the demon bird saber intent. In an instant, Zuquan rolled and flew out. While in mid-air, he vomited blood and fell into the crowd of the quasi-holy sun. A quasi-holy sun who had a fairly good relationship with Zuquan instantly caught Zuquan's figure. At the same time, he fed Zuquan a healing elixir. Young man, do you know why you lost? The Silver Guardian looked down at Zuquan with a touch of mockery in his eyes. The other man thought he had created a powerful sword technique, but in fact he had fallen to the bottom and practiced it to the point where he was neither fish nor fowl. There was light all over Zuquan's body, and he also swallowed a few healing pills. For a moment, his breath stabilized, and there was doubt in his eyes. Qin Feng's eyes were bright, and he understood the reason instantly. This Zuquan thought he was great, and his momentum was indeed full of loopholes. Qin Feng's fiery eyes had long seen through the weaknesses of the demonic bird sword intent. The Suzaku sword intent was a sword technique inherited from the Suzaku Holy Land after thousands of years. The dross had long been removed, leaving the most essential part. Otherwise, this Suzaku sword technique will not remain in the Suzaku Holy Land for a long time and become one of the secret sword skills. But Zuquan thought he was so great. He took the essence and then created some dross himself, but he was complacent. Although the strength has gained some nominal blessings in a short period of time, it has caused the intention of the Suzaku sword to decline. I shouldn't have changed my sword technique randomly, this junior knows my mistake. Zuquan was thoughtful, a look of horror appeared on his face, and then he admitted his mistake to the Silver Guardian. The Silver Guardian got the answer he needed. He nodded with satisfaction. Then, he glanced at the quasi-holy sun around him with powerful eyes and said, "Who else wants to challenge me? As long as you can beat me, you can get Master's inheritance. If no one challenges it, leave immediately." Zhu Mu took a step forward and wanted to take action, but Qin Feng was faster than him. In an instant, Qin Feng came to the field and stood in front of the Silver Guard. "I'll do it." A faint smile appeared on Qin Feng's face. He looked at the Silver Guardian in front of him with an otherworldly feeling. "Qin Feng, what do you mean? Do you want to die?" Zhu Mu was very dissatisfied when he heard this. At this time, Qin Feng suddenly jumped out and took his opportunity, which made him angry. Qin Feng's repeated provocations to him had already made him murderous, and he wanted to get rid of him quickly. "Hey, it's first come, first served. If I can't beat you, it's not too late to take action." Qin Feng turned his back to Zhu Mu, with a faint smile on his face. He was not afraid that the other party would suddenly attack him. Because his huge soul has enveloped the field, no crisis can escape his perception. Zhu Mu is just a quasi-saint. To be honest, Qin Feng really doesn't take him seriously, but after seeing the methods of the Silver Guard, Qin Feng feels that Zhu Mu is likely to attract the guards. But if that's the case, directly snatching the bamboo slips would be a bit too much. After all, everyone around is watching. "Qin Feng, do you think you are strong? You are looking for death." Zhu Mu's eyes glowed with cold murderous intent, and he was very unhappy. He. In response, Qin Feng just sneered, with a hint of ridicule on his face. "Hey, young man, you have been promoted to 3 levels in a row without any side effects. No wonder you dare to challenge me. At this moment, the Silver Guardian saw the person in front of him and immediately realized that this young man was the monk who had moved the 8th heaven just now. The opponent has improved to 3 small realms, his body is intact, and he has no side effects. He may have a terrifying divine body. At this time, Qin Feng stood on the 2nd level of Moving Mountain. During the battle between the Silver Guard and Zhu Quan, Qin Feng refined the divine blood and divine patterns, and improved 3 small realms. Such talent and body are simply, no one can compare. Of course, this has reached his limit. The Suzaku divine blood and divine patterns have no effect on Qin Feng at this time, which makes him very helpless. A lucky fluke. Qin Feng nodded lightly, and his body released a fierce fighting spirit. In fact, he already had some guesses. This Silver Guardian seemed to be very unusual. When the monks around him heard this, they were all surprised. It was like they had focused all their attention on Zhu Quan and the Silver Guardian just now, and did not pay attention to Qin Feng. Qin Feng directly advanced to 3 minor realms in this short period of time, making them pale with horror and envy. "Senior, this Suzaku's sword power is not good, why don't you come and see my sword power?" After Qin Feng's words fell, an immortal sword appeared in his hand, releasing an astonishing aura. Now, as a weapon of average immortal quality, this immortal sword spreads a terrifying light and instantly enveloped the Silver Guardian. For a moment, the Silver Guardian frowned, and a panic surged in his heart. Although Zhu Quan had displayed powerful sword intent before, compared with the young man at this time, it was simply childish. What's going on? The Silver Guard's heart was in turmoil. Qin Feng only had the strength of 2 levels of Moving Mountains, but he actually felt danger from Qin Feng, which made him feel very incredible. Qi La. As Qin Feng swung his sword, the world trembled, and even the avenue seemed to collapse. The gorgeous sword light, slashing the sky and shaking the earth, rolled towards the guard. The Silver Guard felt the terrible sword intent sweeping over, and he sucked in a breath of cold air. Qin Feng's strength actually made him feel threatened. In front of him, a long sword of light appeared, and it also slashed forward, performing the Suzaku sword technique. Boom! In the sky of Zhuwang Palace, lightning intertwined with divine fire. Qin Feng's sword intent had an absolute advantage and suppressed the Silver Guard. Qin Feng Zhu Quan was different. The Juexian sword under the blessing of the 9 prohibitions had 81 times the energy. If the sword master between heaven and earth, he would crush all the cultivators. Plop! The divine light was shining, the rays of light were surging, and the powerful momentum suppressed the Silver Guard without any room for resistance, and he knelt down. This scene really shocked everyone. The Silver Guard who was so strong just now was actually suppressed by Qin Feng and surrendered directly. This scene was too horrifying. What is going on? The Silver Guard was terrified. Qin Feng's sword light was too abrupt. He couldn't muster the will to resist at all, and he lost to instinct directly. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 367. Do you find it incredible? Qin Feng stood in the void, looking down at the Silver Guardian below calmly, with a smile on his face. Yes, why can your Suzaku sword technique suppress my Suzaku sword technique? The Silver Guardian struggled and wanted to stand up, but in his heart he felt that an ancient sacred mountain was suppressing his body, making him unable to stand up at all. This is because the sword intention in his heart is afraid of his will, and he has to surrender to the other party's authority. Because my sword intention is the true face of Suzaku's swordsmanship. Qin Feng said lightly. He was suspended in mid-air, with his hands behind his back, and told the real reason. This Silver Guardian has indeed mastered the Suzaku sword technique to the extreme. However, facing Qin Feng's blow, he is actually invincible. What, did you learn the rumored 10 strikes of Suzaku? Yes, it's Suzaku's 10 strikes. Qin Feng still said calmly, as if he was talking about an extremely insignificant thing. The Silver Guardian was shocked when he received a confirmed answer. The 10 strikes of Suzaku were the secret method of the rumored Suzaku Holy Land, and the Suzaku sword technique was derived from it. Qin Feng understood the 10 strikes of the Suzaku. It is no wonder that the Suzaku sword intent was defeated in front of Qin Feng and could not resist. I defeated you, so now it's time for you to surrender. Qin Feng calmly looked down at the Silver Guardian below. He had already guessed what the Silver Guardian's identity was. This is the reason why his 10 Suzaku strikes will make the opponent unable to resist. Yes, Master. After the Silver Guardian finished speaking, it turned into a ray of silver light and instantly flew into the bamboo slips above his head, blooming with light. This Silver Guardian is actually the weapon spirit of that bamboo slip. Because the opponent has no body but only will, he surrenders to the more powerful Suzaku 10-strike will. Brush. Qin Feng stepped on the immortal walk and instantly grabbed the bamboo slip in his hand. For a moment, all the quasi-saints around him were stunned, with horror in their eyes. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng got the bamboo slip in the end. The Silver Guard is the weapon spirit of the bamboo slips, and this is a rare treasure. The quasi-holy sun suddenly spoke up and gave birth to the magic weapon of the weapon spirit. It is a very precious thing and is extremely rare. If they can snatch the 7 weapon spirits before they recognize their owners, they can also become the weapon spirits of the bamboo slips. Ding, congratulations. Remember to conquer the spirit of the Suzaku Immortal Sword. The Suzaku Immortal Sword is a top-grade magic weapon of immortal quality. One can be transformed into 9, and it can cut down the sky and destroy the earth. In the sky, Qin Feng's eyes were bright. This Suzaku fairy knife was simply an unexpected surprise. He had already seen that this so-called bamboo slip was actually composed of 9 daggers placed side by side. Due to the age, it has been covered with a layer of rust, causing it to look like a bamboo slip, but it is now blooming with silver light. Qin Feng, hand over the magic weapon in your hand. At this time, Zhu Mu took a step forward, his eyes flashing coldly, and stopped Qin Feng's figure. He saw that the bamboo slips had a magical spirit, a unique magic weapon, which made him want to get it very much. Moreover, the other quasi-holy sons around him were also looking at him eagerly, eager to get this magic weapon, and the atmosphere in the field became tense for a while. Qin Feng, although you have improved your realm, I can still kill you without any effort. I hope you don't make a mistake. Zhu Mu's eyes bloomed with murderous intent. In his opinion, Qin Feng's ability to suppress the weapon spirit was just a coincidence, just because the sword spirit was stronger than the opponent. His cultivation level is slightly superior to Qin Feng's. Among the quasi-holy sons, his strength is also among the best. Even a monk in the divine light realm can fight. Senior brother Zhu Mu, I will take down this kid with you. At this time, Zhu Quan, who had recovered from his injuries, also stepped forward. Qin Feng suppressed the weapon spirit and obtained the magic weapon. This meant that Qin Feng was stronger than him. How could he accept it? He could accept his failure, but he could not accept that Qin Feng, who had just entered the realm of moving mountains, was even more terrifying than him. Otherwise, he can only become Qin Feng's foil. In the battle for the Holy Sun, he may have no choice but to accompany him on the run. Qin Feng, I advise you to be smart and hand over the magic weapon. This is not something you can protect. Zhu Mu's eyes were extremely cold, and his whole body was full of evil, threatening Qin Feng. You too also want my magic weapon. If you are not afraid of death, come and do it. With a thought in Qin Feng's mind, a powerful power spread out from his body and enveloped the entire place. The few quasi-holy sons around in the realm of divine illumination did not take action rashly, because they felt the strong will spread from Qin Feng, comparable to the holy sun Zhou Qishan. Qin Feng's unparalleled temperament and powerful sword spirit easily suppressed the weapon spirit, which was very easy and freehand. This is enough to show that Qin Feng is invincible. Everyone, I suggest that we work together to deal with Qin Feng. Otherwise, with him in the Holy Land, we may not have a good life in the future. At this time, Zhu Mu was also encouraging the quasi-sages around him. Qin Feng posed a strong threat to him. He believed that he could defeat Qin Feng, but he just needed some means. If that's the case, the other quasi-holy sons will take advantage of the opportunity, and they won't be able to protect the magic weapon even if they have their cards in and out. Rub. Suddenly, just as the 20 or so quasi-holy sons were being persuaded, the ancient coffin suddenly shook, and then burst out with an earth-shattering bird's cry. The next moment, the ancient coffin shook, and the energy and blood that rushed into the sky spread out, and then a skeleton emerged, bursting into flames that filled the sky. At this moment, Zhuang Palace became very dazzling, and the brilliant light shone through the sky and the earth. It was obviously just a skeleton, but it was extremely bright and sacred, which was shocking. However, this was not the most terrifying scene. Immediately afterwards, the skeleton's body seemed to go back in time. Muscle blood was produced on the skeleton. Then, a strong and heroic man emerged, spreading a terrifying aura. What happened if I went? What's going on? The quasi-holy sons around were all talking about it. The ancient coffin suddenly rioted, and a powerful corpse appeared, which made all their faces turn pale with shock. The previous guardians of the weapon spirits were terrifying enough, but the person who appeared now had thick black hair and closed eyes. His terrifying strength far surpassed all of them. Can corpses also be resurrected? Qin Feng felt the majestic man in front of him, and he felt uneasy in his heart. The man in front of him was definitely not something that ordinary people could deal with. But fortunately, this heroic man did not have any life breath on his body, and was indeed a corpse. However, this corpse, which ran out to regenerate flesh and blood, does not look like it is okay. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 368. The creature in the ancient coffin burst into flames, but there was a cold murderous aura rushing out, and everyone felt the taste of fear. Qin Feng's mind moved, and he looked at the corpse with his fiery eyes. At this moment, his eyes hurt like two golden lamps, bursting with light. That is. Suddenly, Qin Feng was shocked and his face changed. He felt the surging qi and blood in that body. The qi and blood suppressed it, like a god, making everyone tremble all over. The other party was a physical manifestation, but if it was just like that, Qin Feng would not be shocked. The reason why he was shocked was that in that body, he saw a powerful heart in the core part of the Suzaku god blood in the other party's body, and it actually trembled. Boom! Just when Qin Feng suspected that the corpse was actually alive, the ancient coffin suddenly trembled, and then there was a huge sound, like thunder beating. This vibration made the whole palace shake, and everyone here was shocked. Because they all heard that the loud noise was a huge heartbeat, which was actually coming from this corpse. The heartbeat of Zhu Wang's corpse shook the surging qi and blood, like a rushing river, making people dare not look directly at it. Could it be that the corpse of Zhu Wang's ancestors has given birth to Wu again? Such a powerful qi and blood. This is the root of Zhu Wang's invincibility, the legendary Suzaku divine body. More than 20 quasi-saints all showed horror on their faces. The power that this body burst out was unimaginable, even more terrifying than the previous weapon spirit. The three heavens of divine illumination. At this time, Qin Feng's eyes condensed, and he was a little stunned for a moment. This body spread out such a terrifying divine power, and the pressure shocked everyone. It was only one heaven higher than the weapon spirit. How could this be possible? The gap is only one heaven, and the gap is so big. Is this the extraordinary manifestation of the realm of divine illumination? But why don't those quasi-saints who have been promoted to the realm of divine illumination have such a terrifying gap? Qin Feng was somewhat puzzled. The quasi-holy son of the first level of Shen Zhao was no match for the spirit of the second level of Shen Zhao. The difference between the spirit of the weapon and the body that appeared in the sky was probably more than 10 times. This Suzaku divine body, just the corpse revived, looked quite terrifying. As the body of King Zhu floated in the air, his tall and majestic body was covered with black hair, flowing with energy light like a landslide and tsunami. The cultivation of the third level of Shen Zhao was beyond the reach of ordinary geniuses, because this person had the qualifications of a saint, and his divine body was even more powerful, already on par with the true saint of the Suzaku Holy Land. I am, King Zhu. There were intermittent divine thoughts coming out of King Zhu's body, and then, the momentum emanating from it enveloped the 20 or so cultivators present. You have trespassed into my sleeping place without permission, and started killing. King Zhu's divine thoughts came, and then released a strong pressure on his body, the energy of light, sweeping across the world, and the momentum bloomed. Swish. Naturally, the 20 or so quasi-saints did not dare to delay. They took mysterious steps and instantly soared into the air, suspended in the air, spreading a true chi shield to protect themselves. Everyone, let's run. Senior Zhu Wang's divine body is too strong. It will be too late if we are late. A quasi-saint reminded him, and he was the first to take mysterious steps and retreated frantically to the outside. At this time when the enemy was in front of him, he chose to escape in order to survive. As the voice of the quasi-saint fell, the rest of the people all took off into the air and fled. Qin Feng also tried to escape as soon as possible. As for whether there were other things in the ancient coffin, he no longer cared. Facing this Suzaku divine body, Qin Feng was not completely sure to defeat it, and retreating was undoubtedly the best choice. Swish. Qin Feng took mysterious steps and stepped on the immortal steps to the exit of Zhu Wang Hall. It was at this time that Qin Feng felt a huge crisis, and he instantly protected himself with the 9 forbidden. At this moment, more than a dozen quasi-saints released terrifying light and slapped towards Qin Feng. At this moment, Qin Feng was horrified, and the vision of the God King and the 9 prohibitions turned into a golden bell to protect himself from extinction. Then, endless light, killing style, and magic weapons drowned him. At this moment, he was hit from the door of Zhu Wang Palace like a cannonball and fell into Zhu Wang Palace again. At the same time, Zhu Mu and everyone else appeared above the underground palace. They all floated in the void, staring at Zhu Wang Palace below, with terrible light in their eyes. Then, the underground palace of Zhu Wang Palace shook violently, and a roar sounded. The spreading divine power fluctuations made everyone terrified. The body of Senior Zhu Wang is too terrifying. Even if Qin Feng is extraordinary, he can only die here. More than a dozen quasi-saints showed a sneer on their faces. It is definitely not an easy task to defeat Zhu Wang, who has the body of the vermilion bird god. Even if the King Zhu only has the strength of the third level of Shen Zhao at this moment, he is far from being comparable to Qin Feng. When Zhu Mu and the others rushed out of the underground palace, Longma and Conke immediately led everyone to disappear into the sky to avoid being seen by them. Although they did not see Qin Feng's figure and were very worried, they also knew that they could not fall into the hands of Zhu Mu and the others at this time, otherwise it would become a handle to threaten Qin Feng. In the Zhu Wang Palace, Qin Feng was surrounded by the vision of the God King. His powerful aura surged out, and his face was as gloomy as water. There was a huge murderous intention surging in Qin Feng's heart. Just now, the dozen or so quasi-saints attacked him, causing him to be beaten into the Zhu Wang Palace the moment he escaped. At this moment, Zhu Wang roared, and a terrifying light spread out of his body. In an instant, his palm pierced through the void, and the world was shaking when he slapped it, hitting Qin Feng's vitals. At this moment, Qin Feng knew that he could not escape. He stood in the 9 forbidden realm in an instant, surrounded by dragon symbols and the vision of the God King, and spread out a dragon's roar that shook the world. Roar. A shocking roar spread throughout the underground palace, and the underground palace was shaking. The dragon's might was brilliant, appearing between heaven and earth and blooming. At this moment, many quasi-saints looked at each other. Facing Zhu Wang, Qin Feng actually had the strength to fight, which shocked all of them. However, when they thought that Qin Feng would soon die here, and a powerful competitor was gone, their expressions became better. Qin Feng was definitely their obstacle, and dying here was the best outcome for them. At this time, a beam of light that shook the world pierced through the void, and people found that the Zhuang Palace was directly pierced through. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 369. The beam of Tongtian power was a red dragon. Qin Feng's dragon talisman penetrated the Zhuang Palace, which was protected by the formation Sumi realm. This scene was horrifying. The dragon talisman was shining, reaching the sky and the earth. It was waving its claws in the sky, releasing a strong power, and turned into a rain of light and dissipated. The quasi-saints suspended in the air looked at each other. They felt that the light Qin Feng shot out at this time was more terrifying than when he faced them before. Bang! In a flash, Qin Feng used Kunpeng Fist to hit Zhu Wang's palm hard, and an extremely loud sound was heard in the field, like a thunder. The Kunpeng Fist of the middle grade of the Immortal was actually transformed into an energy light wave and shattered under the bombardment of Zhu Wang. This was really terrifying. Qin Feng turned into a golden light and rushed over. His palm spasmed slightly, and a patch of red blood was left at the tiger's mouth. At this moment, Qin Feng had to be cautious. His body was so strong, but he didn't expect that he would suffer a great loss at the hands of King Zhu after just one encounter. King Zhu's Suzaku divine body was very terrifying, not weaker than his divine king body. Qin Feng naturally didn't believe in evil. His battle with King Zhu broke out again. He killed King Zhu as soon as he started. The Kunpeng Fist was as powerful as a rainbow, making King Zhu's Taiyan and Sun intertwined. The Suzaku divine fire was aroused, swallowing the sky and shaking the earth. The brilliant light flowed in the Zhuang Palace, turning it into a sea of fire, as if it was going to overturn the world. Behind Qin Feng, a Suzaku divine figure was diffused. He dominated the world like a fire god in the firelight. King Zhu was also fearless. Although he did not bloom the Suzaku divine figure, his black hair was filled with the light of fire and his magic power was overwhelming. Qin Feng and King Zhu's bodies collided. The magic power on both of them was overwhelming. The brilliant firelight flowed here, and the void was shaking. Swish! Suddenly, in the sea of god kings behind Qin Feng, a bright moon rose into the sky, accompanied by the red bird, and the two visions burst into dazzling light, and even Qin Feng's vision sea turned into a golden sea, flowing with terrifying power. At this moment, Qin Feng held the God King seal in his left hand and the absolute immortal sword in his right hand, tearing the void. The space was shaking violently, and the light moved the 9 heavens. Boom! The body of the Red King was shining brightly, and he punched the void with one punch. A golden red bird flew out of his fist and confronted Qin Feng's God King seal. Qin Feng flew out again in a flash. Even if he stood in the 9 forbidden realm, he could not completely withstand the attack of the Red King. Swish! Qin Feng stepped on the immortal walking step. His speed was extremely fast, as if he was in an unmanned area, and he was invincible in the void. At this moment, if he stood in the realm of time, the red bird's 10 strikes would destroy the sky and the earth, and he would move forward unstoppably. At this time, Qin Feng's hair was flying, and his white Taoist robe was stained with blood. That was because he was injured during the fight with Zhu Wang. Zhu Wang did not feel anything real. Qin Feng fought with him. Even if he broke Zhu Wang's palm, the other party would continue in an instant, and his fighting power was not damaged at all, just like a fighting machine. Kill! Qin Feng roared and shook the mountains and rivers. The Suzaku vision stood between heaven and earth. With its wings spread, it swung out the Suzaku 10 blows. At this moment, the roof of the entire Zhu Wang Palace was directly blown away by Qin Feng. Zhu Wang Palace, which was protected by the formation, could no longer withstand the force of the two. The terrifying light swept up to the sky, and the roof flew thousands of meters away. All this was seen by the quasi-saints who had been paying attention to the movements of Zhu Wang Palace. They were all terrified and felt that they had seriously underestimated Qin Feng's cultivation. The other party was powerful enough to fight against Zhu Wang of the third heaven of divine illumination, and was not inferior. At this time, in the underground palace, countless true disciples all felt the might from Zhu Wang temple, and were shocked and speechless. They had to admit that Qin Feng was extremely strong and was destined to shake the Suzaku Holy Land. No one could match him. Damn, why is this kid so scary? Can't Zhu Wang stop him? The quasi-saints were talking about it, unable to accept this result. Qin Feng's fighting power showed that he had great supernatural powers, which were far beyond the reach of these quasi-saints. Ma, is Qin Feng still a human? Such a terrifying fluctuation of divine power, I'm afraid Zhu Qishan is no more than this. The true disciples who had escaped before, feeling the fluctuation of divine power spreading from Zhu Wangdian, all felt incredible. At this time, Qin Feng stepped on the immortal steps, and walked in Zhu Wang temple as if walking on flat ground, with peerless domineering. Every time his divine king seal collided with Zhu Wang, the void trembled, filled with wisps of arcs. Bang! Another earth-shattering sound came. Qin Feng changed his moves, swung the middle-grade Kunpeng fist, and collided with Zhu Wang's Suzaku fist. A thunderous sound rang in the air, and then spread out into patches of ripples. The space was shaking like a scroll, with the power of opening up the world. Swish! At this moment, the formation guarding Zhu Wang's palace collapsed in an instant, and could no longer stop the divine power of the two incarnations. Qin Feng stepped on the immortal steps and soared into the sky. He appeared between heaven and earth. Immediately afterwards, Zhu Wang's body followed. He had extreme speed, caught up with Qin Feng and raised his fist to hit him. The Suzaku fist was swung again, bursting out a golden Suzaku, terrifying and boundless. The Suzaku wings were like a sky knife, the bird's head was like a sky sword, breaking the void. Dang! The earth-shattering sound spread, the Suzaku fist collided with the Kunpeng fist, and patches of ripples bloomed in the void. The violent magic power almost broke the sky and split the earth, and it was unstoppable. 10 Palaces Shura. At this time, Qin Feng was very calm. He used the middle-level immortal skill, 10 Palaces Shura. Behind him, 3 Shuras suddenly appeared. He was surrounded by the God King, Suzaku, and Shura, 5 strange phenomena, and he exuded an unstoppable breath that shook the world. Qin Feng rushed out of the Zhu Wang Palace and stood in the world of the underground palace. The 5 strange phenomena were earth-shaking and surrounded him. They were unparalleled in the world. Cut. The immortal killer Shura chopped out, and the 8 immortal killing styles were performed. The gorgeous sword light cut the sky and the earth, breaking the void. Puff! The blood of the gods was spilt wildly. The Zhu Wang was cut off one arm by Qin Feng, and the blood of the Suzaku gods splashed and flew out on the spot. It was extremely terrifying. So scary. This guy is simply super awesome. If this continues, who among the younger generation can be Qin Feng's opponent? In my opinion, even the Holy Sun Zhu Qishan is not Qin Feng's opponent. This guy is not a human, he is simply a monster. All the true disciples and would-be children around were stunned and could not accept such a result. Even the powerful King Zhu could not stop Qin Feng. This was incredible. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 370. Everyone was shocked and stood there in a daze. This was the body of King Zhu. Although the spiritual wisdom born from it only had the strength of the third level of Shenzhou, such strength was enough to dominate the small world. However, Qin Feng not only blocked all the attacks, but also injured King Zhu, causing his broken limbs to fly out. It was really shocking. Roar! King Zhu roared, and flames shot up into the sky. The body that flew out suddenly turned back and connected with his arm, flowing with monstrous blood. Qin Feng saw this scene, and he chased again. The speed of the immortal step was unparalleled. In an instant, he came to the front of King Zhu, and the Juexian sword slashed out again. At this moment, Qin Feng held the Juexian sword in his right hand and performed the Suzaku 10 strikes. The void was instantly broken, and murderous intent lingered. Suzaku divine body, who can compete with me? At this moment, Zhu Wang let out a light roar, and his body burst into flames, and his blood and qi flowed like a river. His body was covered with golden feathers, which flashed with golden light, which was extremely terrifying. If you look closely, you will find that under these golden feathers, there are also golden scales growing. It is extremely terrifying. It is incredible that the Suzaku divine body is so terrifying. Dang! Qin Feng's Juexian sword slashed at Zhu Wang's vitals. Zhu Wang's arm instantly turned into a heavenly sword, colliding with Qin Feng's Juexian sword, stirring up energy light like a landslide and tsunami. Such a terrifying power did not break Zhu Wang's arm, which surprised Qin Feng. The Juexian sword of the middle grade of immortal is extremely terrifying. It is incredible that it can't break Zhu Wang's Suzaku divine body when performing the Suzaku 10 strikes of the immortal grade. The dazzling light surged, flowing like a tide. The light here was so intense that everyone closed their eyes and couldn't look directly, because the gorgeous light there was too dazzling. At this moment, Qin Feng used almost all his methods, and there was a dazzling light around him. The dragon talisman, the vermilion bird divine form, the divine king vision, and the Azura vision were all around him. Under the 9 forbidden rules, the power was superimposed 100 times, but he still couldn't take down King Zhu, which forced him to be cautious. This couldn't go on, because there were countless quasi-saints around, and the situation would only become more and more critical. Swish! Qin Feng held the immortal killing Azura in his left hand and the immortal absolute sword in his right hand, and performed the method of shaking the heaven and earth, turning into the only one between heaven and earth. Many methods were used by him, all of which were blessed by the 9 forbidden rules. The 81 times the power was mighty in the void, as if to destroy the universe, the sun, and the moon. The terrible light reached the clouds, which shocked all the people around. They asked themselves, such light and divine power, they could never stop it? And King Zhu, who was fine after such an attack, didn't know how to describe his thoughts at this time. At this time, Qin Feng waved the immortal absolute sword and the immortal killing Azura repeatedly, and even triggered the god forbidden field. If he could not trigger the forbidden field, he would definitely be defeated in such an attack, and he would have no choice but to escape. That is, at this moment, the sword and the knife combined under the blessing of the 9 forbidden, slashing out an unstoppable and overwhelming breath. In an instant, Qin Feng got what he wanted. He stood in the forbidden field of the gods, and then the moves performed by the absolute immortal sword and the immortal slaughter Azura were expanded to hundreds and thousands of times the power under the blessing of the forbidden field of the gods. Puff! The sword and the knife combined, a violent magic sound was heard in the void, and then blood flew up, and King Zhu was split on the spot by Qin Feng, shattered into dozens of pieces in the void, and fell to the ground. All the people around were stunned. Qin Feng really killed King Zhu. King Zhu's body and blood fell to the ground, which made everyone unbelievable. This was too shocking. Huh. Qin Feng's eyes condensed, and he really felt that King Zhu's intelligence disappeared and turned into a skeleton again. Moreover, a diamond scratch card appeared on the spot, but Qin Feng did not pick it up because he found that the quasi-saints were moving. Moreover, he also found that the body of the Zhu King had no will, but only a wisp of the Zhu King's immortal spirit. This wisp of the Zhu King's immortal spirit was wiped out by Qin Feng, and it would not cause any crisis to him anymore. However, this also shocked him very much. That wisp of immortal spirit was so powerful. How terrifying was the Zhu King in his heyday. After solving the Zhu King's true spirit, Qin Feng raised his head and stared at the 20 or so quasi-saints in the sky. Just now, when he escaped from the Zhu King's palace, more than a dozen of them attacked together, and the divine power light wave they shot out beat him back to the Zhu King's palace. At this time, the Zhu King had been destroyed, and it was time to find them and settle the account. Go. Zhu Mu, Zhu Quan, and others were all shocked and could not accept such a result. It was incredible that Qin Feng was not stumped by a powerful Zhu King. All of them wanted to retreat. If they didn't run away quickly, it would be too late. More than a dozen people flew up into the sky, trying to escape. The rest just stood there without making any moves. They didn't make any moves just now. I really can't accept that I'm going to run away from this kid. A quasi-saint spoke up, feeling extremely unwilling. Facing a mere Qin Feng, he could only be like a stray dog, which made him very angry. Qin Feng looked at Zhu Mu, Zhu Quan, and others who were running away in the sky. He was in the void, his eyes shining with golden light. Swish! Qin Feng waved his hand and took out the Suzaku immortal sword. There was a sneer on the corner of his mouth, and then he took out an immortal sword. The true disciples in the distance were all confused as to why all the quasi-saints had all escaped. They looked at Qin Feng's actions and found it incredible. Could Qin Feng dare to attack the quasi-saints alone? Swish! Qin Feng pulled out a sword from the Suzaku immortal sword and pierced through the void, emitting a strong murderous aura, directly hitting the back of Zhu Quan in the distance. Puff! Without any suspense, the Suzaku immortal sword, a top-grade magic weapon of the immortal grade, pierced through the void and moved forward. In an instant, Zhu Quan was pierced through, and he became a pile of fragments, falling to the ground without the slightest resistance. Zhu Quan could not believe it until his death. Qin Feng shot him to death with just one move. It was simply too outrageous. However, how could he know that Qin Feng was standing in the forbidden area of the gods at this time, with thousands of times the power superimposed? Even if he was the Holy Lord, he would not be afraid, not to mention that he still had a magic weapon of the immortal grade, and no one could stop him at all. Puff, puff. Two more vermilion bird immortal swords pierced through the void, and the blazing light made everyone close their eyes, not daring to look directly at it. The surrounding true disciples could not understand why Qin Feng dared to attack the quasi-saints, and even directly killed Zhu Quan. With such great power, he was simply an unparalleled villain that no one could stop.